Most people are too polite to tell you when you're being the kind of wedding guest that is driving them insane. So I'm going to do everyone a favor and give you a few tips on how to be a great wedding guest and not make the couple wish they had eloped. Don't ask if you can bring a +1. If you could bring a +1, it would say so on your invitation. If you RSVP to the wedding and decide that you can't make it or something comes up, make sure you let the bride and groom know well in advance of the wedding that you can't be there. They have paid for you to eat and enjoy and drink and be merry. So if you can't come, make sure you let them know so they can make other accommodations and maybe include someone else that they would have loved to have there, but maybe weren't able to. So be considerate, let them know if you can't come. Don't contact the bride and groom on the day of the wedding asking how to get to the venue. Now is not the time. If you haven't figured it out by then you need to depend on Google Maps or Siri. But don't call the bride and groom. Do not ask to see the bride before the wedding. Her nerves are already on edge. She's anxious, emotions are flowing. So unless you're her 97-year-old grandmother and you're just passing through to say hello on your way to your seat, don't do it. Save it. You'll see her after the wedding is over. And if you happen to see the bride before the wedding begins, don't take pictures of her on the sly and then post them to social media. You don't want the groom seeing her before he gets married, and he might be on his phone. You never know what's going on. So until the groom sees the bride, do not post pictures of her. And speaking of posting to social media, now, everyone might not agree with me on this one, but to stay on the safe side, don't post pictures of the ceremony during the ceremony. It's an intimate event. You should be paying attention to this couple coming together, not on your phone, snapping pics and posting them on social media. So a really good rule of thumb to be mindful of is just don't post the pictures on social media before the ceremony is over. And ideally, don't post them to social media before the bride and groom do it themselves. So while we're on the picture taking discussion, for all you people that love to get in the aisle during the ceremony and snap pictures of the bride and groom or the bride as she's coming down the aisle and stand in front of the actual paid videographer and photographer, you have to stop. They are paying good money. This couple is paying good money for photographers to capture nice, clean shots of their ceremony. They don't need your goofy behind standing in the aisle, snapping pictures on your iPhone. So please be respectful of the amount of time and energy and money they've invested in making sure that their pictures come out nice. And don't stand in the aisle. And don't turn on your flash. It is obnoxious and it destroys pictures that the photographers are taking. If the wedding says no kids, they mean it. So that includes your babies. A lot of brides and grooms don't want to have children at their wedding for a number of reasons. Number one, they don't want the distraction. They don't want them crying. They don't want them being disruptive. Or they simply don't want to pay for small children at a reception that's an adult event. Weddings are not a whole lot of fun for kids anyway, so I know it might be really inconvenient to not include the children and not bring them, but consider it a date night. But just also be mindful that this is an experience that this couple is investing in, and they have tailored it to their specifications. So you can have your thoughts about it, but if they've asked for no children, be respectful and leave the children at home. Don't wear white. Just don't wear white. The wedding that you're attending is not the time to wonder aloud or muse that you thought that the bride or groom was going to marry an ex. You may think it. Everyone may think it. Now is not the time to say it. They're in their present moment. They've made the choice that they've made. Don't do it, though you may be tempted. Don't bring up an ex at the wedding. Don't share bad news with the bride and groom during the wedding weekend, certainly not on the wedding day. And that includes you deciding that you are going to separate from your spouse. That includes that your flight was terrible and the hotel service is the worst. Anything from big to small. They are already super stressed about so many other things, and they should be in a space where they're nice and calm and happy, and being reminded that someone else is having a miserable time is just really selfish. So don't do it. Wait, or tell someone else, but don't tell the bride and groom. Save it for later. If you weren't asked to make a speech at the reception, do not jump up there and make a speech at the reception. This is not testimony service at church. So have a seat, enjoy the speeches of those who have been asked and who have prepared to do so. Sit your behind down, eat your chicken. That's all I have for now. What do you guys think? Is the list complete? Did I leave anything out? Did I leave anything off? Whether you've been married or not, attended a wedding, or just have common sense, what other faux pas have you seen guests commit that you wish they wouldn't? And what do you think the guests could do to make the event less stressful? Comment below, right down there. I want to hear from you, okay? So let me know what you guys think.